Today's experiment, we're going to measure parallax angles and calculate the distance to our star at the end of the table, which is just a push pin shaped like a star taped to the table. Okay? Our two observing stations are these two protractors here on either side of the table. If you remember from our introduction, the baseline that you want to measure for your parallax angle is halfway between these two, right? It's the distance from the Earth to the Sun in astronomy. So in our case, it would be the distance from the one protractor to the halfway point. So the way we're going to measure that is we're actually going to measure the distance between the two protractors, and we're going to measure the distance from the center of this hole here at the center of the protractor. This is the middle of the protractor, to measure the middle distance to middle distance. So I'm going to line up my, probably use the 2-meter stick. It's just a little bit more than 1 meter. I'm going to line up one end of the meter stick with the center of the hole on this side, and the other end center on the hole on this side. I'm going to record this distance. Okay. Half of that distance will be my baseline. The next thing I need to do is measure the distance, or measure the angle. To measure the angle, I'm going to use the side of the protractor that has the little notch in it. You can see right here, there's a little notch in the protractor arm. The other side is flat. When the protractor is lined up so that the arm is parallel to the base, it reads 0 degrees. I move this up here. If I read the wrong side of the protractor arm, I'm going to be off by almost 10 degrees because this is about 10 degrees wide. So make sure you read the side with the notch in it. You also want to read the angle less than 90 degrees because it goes from 0 to 180 and 180 to 0. Use the angle less than 90 degrees. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to take my side of my protractor arm with a notch in it. I'm going to get down. I'm going to line up so that one eye is over the center of that hole in the protractor, along the arm to the star. I'm going to cover one eye so I don't introduce any additional parallax angle. Sight along the arm and record the angle. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, looking for the side of the arm that has the notch in it. Cover one eye, sight along the side of the arm to the star. And record the angle. The final measurement I need for this part of the experiment is the actual distance, because I'm going to calculate the distance for my parallax, then I want to measure the distance so I can compare. So I'm going to set up a line here between the two central objects so I know where the distance I'm measuring from, and then I'm going to measure the distance to my star from the center of this line. So I'm going to center my line, measure the distance to my star, and record this distance. When you record the two angles, they may not be exactly the same, because if the star isn't exactly in the center of the table, which is possible, they may not be exactly the same. So what we're going to do is use the average of the two angles in our calculation.